Next on Worcester News Tonight, it's been 6 years since the Boston Marathon bombings. A central Massachusetts runner reflects as he returns from his 26.2-mile journey. Plus, the Notre Dame Cathedral up in flames, leaving many in shock, including here in central Massachusetts. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. Thousands took off from Hopkinton Monday morning to run in the 123rd Boston Marathon. This year, Marathon Monday falls on April 15th for the first time since the tragic bombing 6 years ago. For a few local runners here in central Massachusetts, it was an emotional 26.2 miles. Our Cam Jandro has the story. Cam?
Anna, the Boston Marathon has become an annual tradition for local running group, the Central Mass Striders. And even though some of them do it every year, this year's was a little bit special because it was the first time the race had fallen on one Boston day.
On April 15th, 2013, Jose Rivera was running the Boston Marathon. He remembers the day clearly.
As soon as they hit Boylston, that's when they told us, hey, bombs went off, you guys can't go down. Yeah, it was surreal. I mean, you don't imagine anything like that ever, so it was kind of crazy.
Monday, the Webster resident finished his 6th Boston. Rivera ran as a member of the Central Mass Striders as he took the final turn onto Boylston Street. It brought back memories of 6 years ago.
I remember being there that year, so that kind of brought it back a little bit. But yeah, emotional, definitely for sure.
Worcester resident and fellow Strider Adam Cohen also finished his 6th Boston. He says the amount of security around the race has increased considerably, but doesn't let it get in the way of his running.
You know, I don't worry so much about that. I try to block that out personally, but you definitely notice it. But the energy is the same as it was before. All the fans are awesome.
Yeah. Rivera's net finish time was just over 4 hours. Cohen's was 5 hours, 41 minutes. Wearing their medals around their necks, the two say the race has become a big part of their life.
It's an honor. It's an honor. Every time I was just mentioning someone today, I'm like, it's an honor. Whether it's a bad race, a good race, it's definitely an honor to run Boston.
It's definitely one of the ones that everybody who wants to run Boston is jealous of.
Now, Cohen and Rivera say they've done numerous races, but nothing quite tops the Boston Marathon, even though the 26.2 miles is completely exhausting. Anna?
Thanks, Kim. And spectators from all over were along the route cheering for those runners. Some from central Massachusetts, others from as far away as Canada. Our Chandler Walsh spoke with people along the route in Ashland.
A sea of runners raced through Ashland, getting off to a strong start at the 123rd Boston Marathon. Central Mass families like the Sullivans from Holden are here for the experience. Catherine Sullivan says supportive moments are what Marathon Monday is all about.
There's a little girl next to us with her hand out, and all the runners are coming to her and saying, thank you so much. And they just seem so happy, and they're having such a great time out here.
They're here to push the runners, but say instead the runners are pushing them.
Makes you want to do it, even though I know I'd be walking by now.
I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe next year is the year.
When Lila Goldberg was 9, she was near the finish line when the marathon bombings happened. She says it's inspiring to see the crowds of runners and spectators are just as strong each year.
It's great that everyone still does it and people still come to support and everyone's just here and having a good time.
This year, the Shrewsbury girl helped her mom cheer on a friend.
My best friend from Clark University, we graduated 30 years ago, is running today.
Traveling from further away, Faith Gosling and Brent Smith came from Ottawa, Canada to watch Gosling's husband run for the Dana-Farber Marathon Challenge.
We're just waiting for him to come along as part of Wave 4, cheer him on, make a lot of noise for the others along the way.
The energetic crew used witty signs, drums, and pom-poms for motivation.
He's got a little while left to go after this, so we got to keep the energy level pretty high.
Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
A massive fire destroys portions of the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. Its structure dates back hundreds of years. The images from France tonight are impacting people from all over the world, including a talk show host from central Massachusetts who just visited there. Jim Polito returned from a trip to Paris less than a month ago. Photos in his phone captured places he and his wife had visited, including the Notre Dame Cathedral.
You can't see everything in the short time we were there, only 5 days, but at the top of the list is always Notre Dame.
Monday, a massive fire at the cathedral engulfed the top half of the building. The flames caused the cathedral's spire to collapse and spread to one of its landmark towers. Polito was shocked when he turned on the TV to see the destruction.
It's surreal. I mean, I really did turn it on and say, oh, I'm just going to see a little bit of a construction fire, and not realizing that as I turned it on, the entire cathedral was crumbling.
There's artwork and relics of religious significance now feared to be lost in the fire. Polito says he has a faith attachment to the cathedral, and it's not just Catholics who will feel this loss.
The people of France and the people of the world have lost just a wonder of the world.
Now, Polito says the fire is devastating, and he's so grateful he was able to see the cathedral in person with his wife. Well, objects are removed from Our Lady of Mount Carmel as construction crews get ready to demolish the former Worcester church. Monday, crews were removing pews from the almost 100-year-old structure. According to the Diocese of Worcester, the church has been falling apart for decades because of how close it is to Interstate 290. It was closed in the spring of 2016. The diocese announced recently the Vatican had ruled against an appeal made by the Mount Carmel Preservation Society to keep the church. A buyer has not yet been announced for the church and its surrounding properties. It's tax day around the country, but in Massachusetts, the deadline is still a couple of days away. And if you haven't filed yet, you may be surprised by your return. Dr. Satya Mitra says many people are seeing lower returns. While the tax rates went down this past year, the withholding table from each paycheck also changed. He says this means there's less withholding because the rate was lower.
They don't have that kind of withholding available now, so they're having not so much refund available coming to them because they already got it in their paycheck. But if you really look at the bottom line, that how much tax I paid last year versus how much tax I'm paying this year, if the income is the same, I bet you that your total tax is lower.
Dr. Mitra says if you're considering filing for an extension, you're not alone. He suggests getting one done and doing your taxes correctly instead of rushing and doing them incorrectly. As the temperatures are climbing this week, so are the gas prices in Massachusetts. According to AAA Northeast, the average for a gallon of gas jumped 6 cents in the last week to $2.61 for regular unleaded. Since the start of 2019, prices have gone up a total of 12 cents. This time last year, the average gallon was just 1 cent lower at $2.60. AAA says prices continue to climb as the switch over to summer blends of gasoline take place, which is more expensive to produce. The Assumption men's hockey team holds a special draft day ceremony on campus Monday. 12-year-old Vinny from Worcester signed an official letter of intent, becoming the newest member of the Ice Dogs. was born premature and is battling a brain dysfunction called HIE and cerebral palsy. He's from a big Italian family who enjoys hockey, and his parents are thrilled he'll be part of the team.
To be a part of it through this is special because he has an older brother, Alexander, that he looks up to, and he's always wanted to be a part of a hockey team, always.
Loves skating, loves watching it, loves the whole part of hockey, the fights. So it's a big thing for him. It's just to be part of it is huge.
Vinny will attend Greyhound practices, games, team dinners, events, and more. April is HIE Awareness Month. Vinny's mother encourages anyone who wants more information to visit Hope for HIE on Facebook. A rate study originally scheduled for 6 months from now will begin as soon as possible. The Cherry Valley and Rochdale Water District Commission gave the go-ahead after receiving complaints from the past several weeks. Ratepayers in the area have seen bills as high as $500, which they said puts many families in danger of foreclosure. The rate study will be a comprehensive report, including budget, operating costs, and the amount of water used in the district.